So America is trying to block China. It doesn't want Americans to use Chinese apps and cars, and it doesn't want China to get access to American technology. But what if China manages to steal America's secrets? That too from the most powerful US leaders like Donald Trump, the next president of the United States, J.D. Vance, the incoming vice president, and Kamala Harris, the current vice president. Believe it or not, China tried to hack these leaders, and to some extent, it did succeed. China hacked the telecom providers they use. In fact, it hacked at least 9 American telecom companies. This includes names like AT&T and Verizon. These are America's top 2 providers. China managed to breach them and 7 others. And from there, it targeted top American politicians. Beijing tried to eavesdrop on their calls, read their text messages. Basically, the Chinese tried to set up a sweeping wiretap. At this point, it is not clear if any sensitive information was compromised, but reports say the hackers gained, and I'm quoting, they gained deep and broad access. Trump's family members were targeted too. So were the aides of Kamala Harris and even congressional staff. These are the aides of politicians in the US Congress. Even they were not spared. So who orchestrated such a massive hack? It's a group of hackers. The US is calling them Salt Typhoon. This group, Salt Typhoon, is said to have the backing of the Chinese state. We know little about them. They pulled off one of the biggest hacks in American history. How did they do it? Through backdoors. That's what experts say. These backdoors are created by telecom companies for the US government. US intelligence agencies use them for surveillance and intelligence gathering. They're also used to monitor targets within the United States. Some of these backdoors are set up at the request of American courts. This is for domestic investigations. And it is quite the irony. America may have been compromised by its own surveillance tools. Call it bad luck or poetic justice. Either way, this should alarm everyone. As of today, the full extent of the breach is not clear. Even with all their expertise, the Americans have not been able to figure it out yet. Needless to say, this could have dire consequences for America's national security. What kind of data did the Chinese hackers access? Certainly more than just the phone numbers. Did they record calls made by Trump or Harris? Did they intercept their text messages? What if they caught their aides discussing classified intelligence and information? Did China manage to capture that too? None of these possibilities can be ruled out. This hack apparently began in 2022. It was discovered only last year. So for 2 years, Chinese hackers had access to American telecom networks. Beijing could be sitting on a wealth of intelligence, but as expected, it is denying all of this. China has dismissed all claims related to this hack.
We have repeatedly stated our position on such groundless accusations that lack evidence. China consistently opposes all forms of hacking, and we are even more opposed to the dissemination of false information against China for political purposes.
China says the US is lying. Obviously, it's not like China will admit to hacking top US leaders. Meanwhile, these reports have sent the US government into a tizzy. Former and current US officials are sounding the alarm. They describe the hack as devastating. One of them said, and I'm quoting, "Washington is screwed." Last month, Marco Rubio spoke about this. He is Donald Trump's nominee for Secretary of State, so effectively he's the next Foreign Minister of America. Rubio said, and I'm quoting again, "That's about as bad as it gets." But will Rubio confront the Chinese about this hack? We'll have to wait and see. Until then, the US is taking more precautions. Government officials have been issued new advisories. They have been asked to switch to secure apps like Signal. Espionage helped America dominate the world order. Now it is getting a taste of its own medicine, and that too from its biggest adversary.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.